It's the 20th of July, and this is your News Bite brought to you by eNCA.com. I'm Marcel Gordon, and in your news today, Vusimuzi Matlala and his co-accused plead not guilty, the UK gets its fifth Prime Minister in 4 years, and Spain crowned world champions, and Trump tries to steal the show. The high-profile trial of businessman Vusimuzi Matlala and his co-accused has gotten underway in the Joburg High Court. The group, that includes his wife, Tsakani, faced 25 charges, including attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, money laundering, fraud, and defeating the ends of justice. Matlala is also accused of ordering attacks on his ex-girlfriend, Tebogo Tobayane, Joe Sebonyone, and DJ Vetis between 2022 and 2024. Today, there were legal arguments over whether the matter could proceed uninterrupted. Either way, police say they've a watertight case. Police spokesperson Adetshina Mate saying this trial marks a significant milestone.
And I think credit must be given to the political killings task team, Gauteng organized crime, as well as Gauteng counterintelligence operations. You will recall that we are here because of Swart's case, because of the work of Gauteng organized crime. You'll recall that on the day that Swart was killed, few hours later, Gauteng organized crime stepped in and arrested the 3 hitmen. And on that particular day, they seized about 3 firearms. And those particular 3 firearms opened a can of worms. We have linked them to more than 30 serious and violent crime cases in Gauteng alone. When you look at the co-accused of Matlala, the 2 hitmen, they are also being linked to those more than 30 cases. So it means these 2 hitmen, Floyd Mabusela as well as Musa Kekana, were always moving with these firearms.
Meanwhile, in another court, anonymity remained a top priority as the Gemstones-Heist whistleblower, known only as Witness K, made her first appearance. Standing in the dock alongside suspended EMPD Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi, she kept her face completely covered, with the legal team outlining the safety risks at play as the multi-million-rand criminal case got underway. Former Miss South Africa contestant and Miss Universe Nigeria, Chidimma Adetshina, has taken her fight to remain in South Africa to the Cape Town Regional Court. Home Affairs declared Adetshina a prohibited person after revelations that her mother had registered her birth fraudulently. Despite this, the beauty queen managed to return to the country. Here's eNCA's Nobisutu Hedjana.
But what we do understand at the moment is that Adetshina's team, they'll be basing their arguments that she was born in the country and her son, and there was no way that she was to know that her mother had obtained or had registered her illegally, and as she was a minor child at the time. But however, we do know that she was expected to also provide the steps that she's taken to legalize the status in the country, as Home Affairs had declared her as a prohibited person after her documents were found in 2024 to have been obtained illegally when she entered the competition of Miss South Africa. Her legal team is arguing that to deport her to Nigeria, a country where she has no relations to, according to them, would be a violation of a case where a mother and her child are separated from her family. They're asking that while the courts are deciding on deporting her, at this time she at least be provided an opportunity to finalize her case in the country, as they are still awaiting to see whether another application that will be filed from the High Court will also be proceeding.
The ANC is finalising its mayoral candidates this week ahead of the local government elections, which are now less than 100 days away. It's a high-stakes affair, especially in an important metro like Joburg, where current ANC Mayor Dada Morero has gone from one crisis to another. The eNCA asked people on the streets of Jozi what criteria they would list when choosing a mayor.
I'm against the corruption, so the ideal candidate must be honest. We just want an honest government. I think going forward, I'm not saying corruption won't be there, but less corruption would be much better for us.
Someone who knows how to deliver, someone who has a track record of honesty. I think those are two main capabilities for me.
Reducing the prices of electricity maybe can go down so that everyone can afford to buy electricity. Because if you can see now, people are doing crime, they are stealing electricity.
So I would say someone who puts the community first, someone who's willing to step up and provide service to everyone, not just for himself, and most importantly, someone who's a leader.
Cleaning up our towns, our locations. Honestly, we don't have anything against our foreign brothers. But if they can assist us to let them go home and put more concentration and time on us.
Government is forging ahead with plans to expand South Africa's nuclear energy program. The move forms part of efforts to strengthen the country's long-term electricity supply. And Electricity Minister Vusimuzi Ramokgopa has reaffirmed government's commitment to procuring 5.2 gigawatts of new nuclear capacity.
We stood before you about a year ago announcing the adoption by Cabinet of the Integrated Resource Plan, which is nothing but a comprehensive articulation of the energy sources that will underpin our generation capacity in this country. As part of that plan, we asserted that we're going to procure 5.2 gigawatts of a nuclear build, and with the intention of having a nuclear industrialization plan to support about 10 gigawatts of a nuclear build program. So when matters of this nature comes to the fore, that attempts to introduce some degree of uncertainty in relation to the safety and the safeguards around nuclear, we felt that it's important that we should be able to stand before the country and the public and share with you what the true facts are.
Further afield now, and people across the UK are beginning the new work week with their fifth Prime Minister in just 4 years, as Sir Keir Starmer moves out of 10 Downing Street and Andy Burnham moves in. The exchange in Labour leaders comes after disastrous results for the party in local council elections in May, where the anti-immigration Reform UK made huge gains. Many Londoners are not welcoming Burnham with open arms.
He's been Mayor of Manchester. Apparently he's done quite a good job over there, but that's not a qualification for being Prime Minister, is it? I haven't voted for him. Have you voted for him? And there you go. So why should he be imposed on us? He should call straight away an election to get his mandate.
I think it's more of the same. Don't really have really good expectations of him. Don't think he's a very sincere person. Hoping for changes in terms of his stance on Gaza and on how Britain is not complying with international law, but I think we're just going to have much more of the same.
I like the fact that he's potentially going to move some of number 10 to the north. I think that's a good move. But I think the state of the country needs somebody with probably much tougher stances on the economy. And depending on who you put in the cabinet, I just can't see that we're actually going to change the fundamentals. And so I don't think he's going to solve the critical problems of debt, growth, the economy. And so I don't have much hope.
In other news we're keeping an eye on, the Reserve Bank will on Thursday pronounce on interest rates. In May, they hiked interest rates for the first time in 3 years, bringing the benchmark repo rate to 7%. Some economists believe interest rates may be kept unchanged this time around. 42 municipalities are back in National Treasury's good books. They received all or part of their July equitable share after addressing concerns that led to the funds of 69 municipalities being withheld. And African swine fever outbreaks have slashed South Africa's pig numbers, triggering an imminent spike in pork prices. Farms in the Free State, Northwest, KwaZulu-Natal and parts of Gauteng have been affected. But the pork industry has assured consumers that pork sold through formal retailers remains safe to eat.
Loaded in by Martinez. Spain made first contact. Ferran Torres away. Spain are the champions. Spain have seized their second star.
And after all the drama, angst and excitement of the 2026 World Cup, Spain were deservedly crowned world champions after an intense final decided by a solitary extra-time Ferran Torres goal. And this time, no amount of skullduggery by the Argentinian team could save them. They finished the final one-man down after Enzo Fernandez was sent off for a second yellow card, although their sanctions did not end there, because Argentinian substitute Leandro Paredes was shown a straight red card immediately after the final whistle after he threw punches and grabbed a Spanish player by the throat. Ugly, ugly scenes playing itself out as the Spanish team were clearly trying to celebrate their hard-fought victory. La Roja Stars completed a clean sweep of the individual awards, but France's Kylian Mbappe managed to grab the Golden Boot, having scored 10 goals in the tournament. The goal fest in the third-place playoff with England over the weekend helping him add to his tally. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump, of course, grabbed a share of the spotlight at the World Cup final, but for all the wrong reasons. He and FIFA boss Gianni Infantino were loudly booed when they came onto the pitch to hand over the gold and silver medals. Trump is, of course, not a fan of the country of Spain and their leader, who've been outspoken against the US's foreign policy and military actions around the world. But that didn't stop him from trying to crash the moment when Spain lifted the trophy. He did the same thing last year when Chelsea won the Club World Cup. Somebody might want to remind Trump about the 2010 World Cup in South Africa.
This was one of the greatest events of any kind ever held. So we're really happy that it did so well. And all over the world, people have come and they've loved our country. You know, it's shown off our country in a different light. And it was a great thing. It was a great event.
Well, Spain's Marc Cucurella has hailed Spain's amazing football.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think since the first day we arrived here, we try to play our football, our style. I think we start a little bit maybe sloppy the first games, but step by step we are improving, we are playing, and I think these last two games we play an amazing football. We dominate both games, we create a lot of chances, we control the game, we concede nothing. So I think we play an amazing football. We deserve this trophy.
On to rugby, and the junior Springboks are back in South Africa after being crowned under-20 rugby world champions again, beating France in Saturday's final in Tbilisi in Georgia to defend the title they won in Italy last year. Here's coach Kevin Foote and captain Sipusetu Mnebelele.
In South African rugby, we always believe. That's the honest truth of it. And we've been speaking about becoming champions for 2026 since this group got together. And then we just really start to ramp it up as we get going. But this team has gone unbeaten this year, which is very, very special. We drew one game to New Zealand, but we beat everyone else. So I think the belief was always there. And I think even when we were behind against teams, you could see that they were believed. There was no panic. So I always believed. And I think that the team did too. And I think that's testament to how we played. We just never stopped believing.
We had a different group last year, obviously. But this year we had a group that was a bit more connected. A group that... Not that last year's group wasn't connected, but this year's group felt a bit more connected because most of us had played together as under 18. Most guys had played together at Craven Week. So it just felt like there was a bit more connection, which I think played a big part in getting us to where we are.
And that's how we wrap today's News Bite. For developments in these and more, keep an eye on eNCA.com and DSTV channel 403.